Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. This actually is a UFC video. It's the first UFC video I've made, and I'm doing so because a couple of subscribers asked would I be asking any questions about UFC, covering any UFC fights, and I thought about it, and yeah, I've been a UFC very casual fan for quite some time, back to the days of Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock and people like that. But I'm not a big fan of UFC. I'm just a casual. However, there's always room to talk about combat sports on this channel. So really and truly, it's going to be driven by you, the folks that watch my channel. Would you like to see some more UFC, MMA type coverage, or should I stick to boxing and leave UFC to people who really know what they're talking about? Anyways, I'll just give this one a go, and I'm going to talk about one fight only, and that's the much anticipated rematch between Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland. Now, they had their first fight in January of 2024 here in Canada at the Scotia Arena in Toronto. This fight today, it'll be 9 o'clock tonight my time, so technically it's Sunday in Australia. It's going to be held at the Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney, Australia. It's a stadium that holds about 21,000 people. So, where do we have? Tail of the tape, du Plessis is 22-2-0, Strickland is 29-6-0. Du Plessis is a slightly younger man, the South African fellow. He's 31 years of age, just clicked over 31. I think his birthday's in January, so he's just clicked over 31. And Strickland, the American, is 33. They both made the 185 pound limit. I think they both weighed in at sort of like 184.6, and size-wise they're identical. They're both the same height and same reach and everything like that. Now, in their first fight, which was at that time, of course, Strickland was entering the arena as the champion. He was beaten by du Plessis, who's known by the name Triple D. It was a unanimous. No, sorry, it was a split decision, and du Plessis had managed to take down Strickland a number of times. This is a case where Strickland's definitely going to be looking for revenge. Du Plessis is the betting favourite. I'm just going to look it down at my notes for the odds. The American odds are, he's going off at a -233. If you prefer decimal odds, that's 1.43. And Strickland is a +175, or decimal odds 2.75. So du Plessis is a fairly strong favourite to retain his title here. I would normally have put some money on Strickland. I'm not saying that I think he won the first fight, but I think it was really, really close, and I thought that he would be in line for getting some revenge. I've been reading that he's worked very hard on his wrestling. As a striker, he relies a lot on his jab, a very heavy jabber, and he's defensively blessed as a striker, standing up boxing style. He's got a good defense, but it was his wrestling I thought that had weakened him. With an extra year of training, I thought that he would have a better chance, but I've been reading, and I think it's accurate, that he's had some sort of staph infection. He's been on antibiotics, and we do know that antibiotics, a course of antibiotics, can sort of weaken you. It can affect your cardio, affect your endurance. And if that is the case, I can see that maybe in the later rounds that du Plessis will have the edge. So I'm actually going to put my money on the favorite. I might put, just like $5 on Strickland just in case of an upset. But I think du Plessis is going to retain his title. Interesting when these fighters, if you watch these fighters, Strickland is he's all over the place when you talk to him, right? Like he says crazy things and he acts sort of irrational. But when he's in the ring, he fights to a very careful, almost kind of cookie-cutter game plan. He doesn't seem to change his style based on his opponent. Whereas du Plessis, who when he's speaking, he sounds like an intellectual guy, like almost a cerebral type guy. But once he's inside the octagon, he's crazy. He does all sorts of things. I've seen him headbutt people on the hip for like we don't even think that's a move, right? But he's capable of just going off. He's very entertaining and a little bit like setting light to a firecracker. So it should make for a good fight. These two fighters, they've definitely got something. There's something very much on the line for both. Du Plessis wants to prove that he's the real champion, that it wasn't any kind of fluke that he beat Strickland, and Strickland's looking for revenge. But I think this might be a little bit too much for Strickland, particularly if the antibiotic course that's reported that he's been on has sort of sapped him a little bit. I think that's about it, really. It'll be an interesting fight. I'm looking forward to seeing the results. But please let me know in the comments section whether or not you think that it's worthwhile for this channel to talk about the occasional big UFC fights. I'm happy to do so, but I don't profess to have anywhere near the level of knowledge that real UFC channels have. I'm just a keen casual fan of all combat sports. Hell, I'll put money on a couple of guys fighting outside the pub, really. So anyways, please like, please subscribe. I love having subscribers. That's just really awesome. Thank you. And wherever you are, have an awesome day. Cheers. Bye-bye.